Hey guys, ZCTR here with my second video. This video is on iOS 8, the latest update for Apple's mobile platform. iOS 8 is available on the iPod Touch 5th generation, the iPhone 4S, the iPhone 5, the iPhone 5C, the iPhone 5S, of course the 6 and the 6 Plus, the iPad 2, the iPad with Retina display, the iPad Mini, the iPad Mini with Retina display, and the iPad Air. I do not know the exact specifications on the gigabytes it requires for the update, but I know personally it required 4.7 gigs. I am shooting this of the iPad Mini first generation, mainly because I had the choice between the iPad Mini shooting the video or the iPhone shooting the video, and the iPhone takes way better videos. So that is why you are looking at a ginormous screen. First off, why don't we start out with a few features. One of the new apps pre-uploaded into iOS 8 is Tips. Now, when you load the Tips app, it says Apple will update these every week. Now, just a few calculations, in iOS 8, that'll probably be about 52 times 10, so about 520 things that they're going to include on this app about iOS 8. As you can see, you can scroll through the apps and it will tell you, such as family sharing, messages sent, favorite people, reply notifications, series, tune integration, and many more. iBooks was also included as one of the apps that comes preloaded with iOS 8. Along with iBooks, podcasts are now available automatically without download. One of the biggest differences you'll notice are the settings, such as there are now spots for display and brightness instead of wallpaper display and brightness. There's also the iCloud Drive section. Other sections include, of course, the pre-downloaded apps and any app you choose to download after there. But that's not a new feature because we saw that in iOS 7. Notifications are now supported even more in the Notification Center. Notification Center also looks very different. As you can see, you no longer have the missed note tab at the top. So now it is just notifications and Today View. One of the neat features that Apple included that Android has had for a while now is the edit for widgets in the Notification Center. As you can see, Dropbox is one of the apps that allows access, but I clicked on it and all it gave me were random image names. So I'm going to stick to just the pre-downloaded applications and widgets. One of the biggest updates lies in the Messages app. Now for Messages, Apple has this new feature called QuickType. With QuickType, it has predictive texting. So let's say I send a text from my phone to my iPad and it says, remind me of the meeting I have. Send it to my iPad, so I'm just like, oh, I need to stop doing this so I can go to that meeting. Well, to respond to that on my iPad, if it were to say respond to meeting, it might pop up some notifications where these little gray boxes are that said, okay, give me a sec, or other things. I have not had that much hands-on experience with that. Another thing that iOS 8 has is the speaker microphone thing. I don't know what they're supposed to call that, but if you can see, it says tap and hold to record your message. And I really don't know, so like you swipe up and it's supposed to send it apparently, and it hasn't been really effective because I've gotten so many that I've sent to so many people that I did not mean to send to. On iOS 8, one of the neatest features is the text messaging response that Apple has offered. Now, this has been an Android feature for years, but I'm glad that Apple has finally decided to integrate it. As you can see, if you slide down just slightly from the notification you get at the top, it'll pop up the keyboard and you can get quick response. So if my mother just texted me, hey, I can respond with hello, simply by clicking the predictive type button and send, and I don't have to leave the application I was in. So that is very helpful and one of my favorite features of iOS 8. Possibly one of the neatest features of iOS 8 is the time-lapse mode. This is similar to Instagram's hyperlapse, which they unveiled a few weeks back. Now, I personally would prefer Apple's over Instagram's, simply because I am very anti-Facebook. The App Store also has a new interface in a way. Now, I've had this problem. It keeps popping up the same exact message every time I click on this. So, let's say you want to go to sections. You click on top charts. It has a new interaction design, and it eliminates the little awful, unattractive lines in between the apps on the App Store menu. Now, this isn't a really big feature change, but it is nice, and I honestly am really happy with it. Apple's map application is supposed to be better than iOS 7's, but they say that every year, and there are still people that do not like it. I personally have no problem, and I have people say that you cannot get your directions accurately all the time, and I personally have not had a problem with that. So I cannot speak personally, but other people probably. Mail now has a new feature where you can slide gently to mark things as read or unread. Now, since all of mine are marked as read, I do not have an option to mark as read, but it is popping up the option mark as unread. And it still allows you to go back through this. Now, Apple is supposedly to have improved Spotlight search. Now it can suggest things in other applications such as food and movies. Now, I do not know how great that is, but I'm going to take Apple's word for it this Another time. Improvement is Siri. She can now respond to many more things, such as tunes, and she's even saying what I am right now.
Ready to send it?
No, Siri, I would not like you to send this message.
Okay, I won't send it just yet.
See, and you can always ask Siri other things, such as tell you a joke, and she'll give really corny responses, but somehow I really like her responses too. Such as one time, if you watched the last video, you know this. I said, Siri, how many Google workers does it take to screw in a light bulb? And her response is 1,000. One to screw it in, and 999 to blog about it. And being an Apple fan, I really enjoyed her response. As you can see from this video right now, there is an obvious choice on why I decided to shoot it with the iPhone instead of with the iPad, because this is the video I would have gotten. Now, I will do a brief synopsis of iPhone's updates to show you. Health, an app that is supported on iPhone and not iPad. Now, I do not have a dashboard, and I am quite concerned that Nike Plus has not shown up yet. But, you know, I'll give them time, see if they update it, or whatever they decide to do. Passbook also has a new designed logo, and a little bit different of an interface. You can now post music like iTunes cards and credit cards as part of Apple Pay. Messages is a little bit better to watch on the iPhone, so here we go. Let's say I'm going to send it, and it says and you probably can't see this video right now, but I will tell you what it says. I don't know what to say that you have not seen yet. And I will send this to my iPad by just clicking send. Now, I can record videos by... See, look, I accidentally said one. I can record messages, as Apple said, with the new way of doing this. And it really doesn't make sense, but I can learn to live with it, so maybe you can too. Voice memos also have a slight redesign, such as the play button, and a little speaker icon is a little bit different. Weather is much better in my opinion. For years I have wanted Apple to have a 7-day or more forecast, and they have not disappointed me. There's a 9-day forecast currently, and if I'm not mistaken, the hours are a little bit longer too. But it also, instead of clicking on the town you're in, it'll give you pop-ups at the bottom, such as sunset, sunrise, humidity, chance of rain, and wind. On iOS 8, Control Center has a slightly different UI. I personally really prefer this over the last one. It still retains some of its transparency, but overall is very less transparent. I like how all the boxes are highlighted, and that the circular boxes that you have for Wi-Fi, airplane mode, and Bluetooth are now also highlighted. Of course, this is only a slight UI change, but it's one of my favorite overall features of iOS 8. And since you might not be able to see this too well, I will do a portion of this on the iPad. Like I said, I would do a brief video on Control Center, and here it is on the iPad, a better view of it, and overall I am greatly impressed. Thanks for watching this video on iOS 8. Please like, subscribe, and continue to listen to my other videos. Hopefully within a few months I will have the rest of the videos that I plan on posting, including updated Google Now versus Siri, and possibly Google Now versus Siri versus Cortana. Now, I will include it on all mobile or all desktop platforms, so it's not as biased like the last video was. Thank you for watching, and this has been ZCTR.